Last year I put together a short little video for my buddy over at Brothers Green Eats on how to make homemade tortilla chips.
Bet you didn't know you could make these at home.
Can you believe how much my hair has grown since then? Yeah, I'm growing it out. Shh. Recently, I made some homemade tortillas using masa harina, and I thought about that video I did about DIY tortilla chips. So here I present to you this video on how to make both tasty treats. DIY on DIY. First up, DIY tortilla chips.
Tortilla chips. Bet you didn't know you could make these at home. And in less than a minute, I will show you how to make these crunchy treats.
Fill a pot with a neutral oil. I use sunflower oil. I like to use my wok for this. Get your fresh tortillas. A variety will work, but it works best with corn tortillas. Cut the tortillas into fourths. Once your oil is hot, add the slices. You don't want to add too many or they'll pile on top of each other, and you want each one to have its own space. Once they start to turn golden, remove them from the oil onto a kitchen towel or paper towel. Salt them immediately. You can do this in batches, drain and personalize it with spices. Try cumin, paprika, sumac, the list goes on. And why not fry up some blue corn tortillas while the oil's hot? Yum!
Now I just need the guac. I hope you try making these at home. I'm gonna go make some guacamole. Peace.
And then to make your homemade tortillas, the key and only actually ingredient here is masa harina. Have you ever heard of masa harina? It, depending on where you live, can be a bit of a specialty item. In certain parts of the world, Mexico, you can find it at like absolutely every corner. Depending on where you live in the United States, it may be harder to source, but like Whole Foods would definitely have some. Masa harina is a corn flour that has been nixtamalized. I love that word. Nixtamalization typically refers to a process for the preparation of corn or other grain in which the corn is soaked and cooked in an alkaline solution, usually lime water, washed and then hulled. So you want 2 cups of masa harina and a half teaspoon of kosher salt. Then add 1.5 cups of hot water from the tap and mix it together with your hands, kneading it for a few minutes. Throw a towel over it and let it rest for about 20 minutes. Now you're ready to make your tortillas. Grab a pinchful about the size of an apricot and begin to flatten it out using your palms and fingertips. You could make these nice and perfectly flat using a tortilla press. I don't have one of those. I would really like one though. So if you're a family member or a friend watching this and you need any ideas, there you go. Or you can make them thin by using 2 sheets of plastic, putting that tortilla dough in between them and pressing them down, like using something heavy like a cast iron pan and doing that. I like them a little thicker though, and like kind of that rustic handmade look. Connor lived in Guatemala for a bit and he said that this is how his host mom prepared them, so I'm just like his Guatemalan host mom, I guess. Then get a cast iron pan hot and put the tortilla dough in it. Heat it for 1 or 2 minutes until the edges start to curl up a bit, and when you flip it, you'll see some brown toasted spots. Heat the other side for 1 to 2 minutes as well. And now your DIY tortillas are done. At this point, you can either cut them into fourths and deep fry them like you saw done in the DIY chip video, or you can just use them as a taco. That's my preference. Here's to delicious tortillas and tortilla chips. Until next time, don't forget to keep it quirky. I'll see you back here soon.